Britney Spears has caught some attention for allegedly shaming Christina Aguilera. Now, as many of you know, Christina and Britney go way back, as friends, as peers, and as enemies. During the beginning of her career, Christina's image kind of existed in Britney comparisons. Her debut album was rushed out after the success of Baby One More Time. But Christina broke away from the lifelong comparisons and stepped completely into her own image with Stripped. But during the earlier stages of their career, Christina would commonly throw digs at Britney, which came across a bit envious. As they stand today, Christina and Britney are very different artists and have very different approaches, and I think both have earned the right to be viewed as their own artist. Christina Aguilera more than anything is a singer first, who has attempted to drastically alter her image throughout her career. Britney, on the other hand, is a performer first who grew with her sound and adapted it to modern soundscapes. Of course, they will always be in the same conversation. That is pretty much inevitable. Considering they are peers, they have many parallels and came up together. However, when it comes to their entire identities as artists, I don't think they should be grouped together. Once again, they do have similarities in style in some aspects of their music career. However, overall, they are very different. And I think generally the media and everyone has pulled away from the Britney versus Christina debacle because it's silly at this point. But Britney Spears seems to have an issue with Christina Aguilera that she has addressed in a few of her Instagram posts. And while generally everyone has sympathy for Britney and what she has gone through, we can also of course acknowledge when she is wrong. And I do believe that Britney is wrong for the way she has been going at Christina Aguilera or including her in posts. There seems to be some type of resentment in this Christina and Britney situation. While it was more palpable in Christina at the beginning of their careers, it seems to lean towards Britney now. From what I've read and picked up from Britney's comments about Christina Aguilera, is that Britney seems to point out the differences that her and Christina had at times when it came to choices, and that Christina was able to freely make choices. And I think Britney could still express that, 1, without involving Christina, or 2, not insulting Christina if she is brought up. Britney famously called Christina out for not speaking about the conservatorship when asked about it on a red carpet event, even though Christina had showed support prior. And recently she made a post involving Christina. In the caption she said, "I wish I could have chosen the nannies for my children, my dancers. I mean, if I had Christina Aguilera's dancers, I would have looked extremely small. I mean, why not talk about it? Don't you think my confidence would have been a bit better if I could choose where I lived, ate, whom I called on the phone, dated, and who was on stage with me? It's hard sometimes. Now I see how much of my womanhood was stripped away at that time. And every person sat back and didn't say a thing. Anyways, I will be here talking about things people never talked about." She attached this post with a quote that said, "I found there was only one way to look thin, hang out with fat people." So yeah, this was way out of line, and if she wanted to talk about that or include that, she didn't have to include or mention Christina Aguilera, because it was so disrespectful, and Christina has been open about her struggles with weight. Christina Aguilera did unfollow Britney Spears after this post, and Britney released another statement trying to clear the situation up, saying, "By no means was I being critical of Christina's beautiful body. It is what it is. I flew to see her show once, and the main thing I noticed was the difference of our people on stage. I was inspired by her show, and she's a beautiful woman of power. Thank you, Christina, for inspiring me." Spears went on to clarify that she didn't mean to be critical of anybody, and then she said she saw her original post as a projection of the insecurities that she deals with all the time, as a result of how her parents and the media have treated her. She then said she never intentionally body shamed anyone, and that she knows what it feels like to be judged for her physical appearance. She said, "I struggle with this because of how I feel about myself, not because I hate how anybody looks." Once again, she can freely express all of these things and insecurities without mentioning Christina Aguilera or any other person, unless they directly relate to the situation at hand. Because whether it was a misunderstanding or not, it was attached to an insulting post, and of course people will take it as an insult. Britney was wrong, and I understand why Christina might want to distance herself from the situation, and she's just been quiet. I'm sure no one at this point in time wants to feud with Britney Spears considering what she's going through and has been going through. Christina has shown her support, and that's really all she can do at this point. I don't think Britney should be directing her anger towards other performers unless they directly affected the situation. I'm not expecting anyone in this situation or Britney to be unhuman and not make mistakes, but I do think Britney was well aware of what she was doing when she made that post. Regardless if it was a misunderstanding, it did come across as just an unnecessary dig. But that about concludes my thoughts on this situation. What do you think about this whole mess? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.